Good morning, students. As we have discussed yesterday, end of the topic like bus transfer and memory transfer. First, let us concentrate on bus transfer. As I told you already, there are two ways of constructing a bus for transferring data between register to register. One way is using multiplexers. I think you know MUX stands for multiplexers. And another way is using tri-buffers, that is tri-state buffers. So now first we will have a discussion on this multiplexer. So transferring the data onto the bus, what we need and how the statement first looks like, you will see. Then we will go for the hardware part of this bus structure. Now, say for example, there are certain group of bus are there. So, like there is a register C1 call that is going to be transferred into bus, and there is a register R1 from where the data that is stored on the bus is copied. So of course this is nothing but, in our register notation, R1 is C1, or you can say to avoid confusion, there we are using 4 registers CA1, B1, C1. Say for example S1, or say for example R, simple register. So simple register. So if you want to store the data that is there in the register R, don't bother about the number of like bits in the register R. It may be any number of bits, like n bits, let us assume n bits. So the n bits of the data in the register R, if you want to copy to register R1, we have discussed previously, this is a notation of transferring data from one register to another register. But generally, as we told, transferring the data from one place to another place in your computer organization done by group of lines, where normally that group of lines is called as a bus. But how the data of one register, is transferred to A. See, for example, if there is a book on a table, there is a book on a table. If you want to transfer the book on the table to your bag or to your reading room, somebody needs to carry. Somebody means now your hands, which are initiated by yourself, holding the book and moving from one place to another place. So first the book that is there on the table should come to your hands. If it is, say for example, a less weight which you can carry, you yourself is going to hold that book. Or else, if the size of the entity, the item here, say a rice bag or something else, a cylinder or something else, which you cannot hold by yourself, somebody need to help you to keep that rice bag or whatever is into your hands to move from one place to another place. Now here there is a 4-line common bus is there. Just there you can observe 4 lines are there. A 4-line common bus is there to hold 4 bits data. So here I am considering 4 registers: register A, register B, register B, register C and register D. There are 4 registers available in my computer. Let us assume for time being. The length of each register is 4 bits. Bit 0, bit 1, bit 2, bit 3. That is register A. Same register B, register C and register C. So I want to transfer the 4 bits of register A to some other place. It may be to memory, it may be to memory, or it may be to another register. So if I want to move these 4 bits, to some place, first I need to copy the data that is available in these 4 bits into these 4 bus lines. For that purpose, for the copying purpose, we are using the concept of multiplexers. As you know very well that if there are k registers here, register 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 registers are there. Each register size of n bits. In our example, the size is 4, means register contains 4 bits. So the bus length you need is n length. So here, how many number of bits are there in each register? That much length of the bus you require. If all the registers of your computer are 8-bit registers, 8-bit bus line is enough. Or if all the registers in your computer are 16-bit, 16-bit bus line is required. Right. And the number of multiplexers to transfer the data into the bus required are n. So here we have 4 registers, and each register length is 4 bits. We need 4 multiplexers. So here multiplexer 0, 4 by 1 multiplexer, multiplexer 1, multiplexer 2, and multiplexer 3. I think you know very well that the description of the multiplexer is always stands like this: n by 1, means if there are n input lines, only single output will be generated. By using a multiplexer. That is the basic definition of a multiplexer. I think you know decoders also you might have read. Decoders means, say for example, if there are n inputs are there, 2 power n outputs will be generated using a decoder. That decoder we will discuss in the next tri-state bus transfer method. So don't worry for the time being. So now we are discussing here about the construction of a bus lines using a multiplexer. So here n lines into only one output. Just see here, this multiplexer, each multiplexer you can see how many lines are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 input lines are there. And here 4 registers are there. And the 0th bit of each register, is connected to multiplexer A like this. A, and here 0th bit here, and here 0th bit here, and here D0 bit is here. You can see A0, B0, C0, D0. The 0th bits of all the registers are connected to multiplexer first one. That is 0th multiplexer, max 0. You can even name 1, 2, 3, 4 also, it doesn't matter. Naming doesn't matter. And in the same way, next bit, that is the first bit, or you can say, if you consider this is the first bit, this one is the second bit. The second bit of each register are connected with next multiplexer A1, B1, C1, D1. Okay? The third bit is connected to the third multiplexer A2, B2, C2, D2. Fine? And here you can see directly I have given the direction connections here. This A3 is connected here, so it is A3. I want to write this during the explanation, that's why I have not mentioned there. Now here, this is C3, you just see C3. So this is, sorry, B3, it is B3. Okay. Now it is register C, C3. C3 connection is this one, C3, and this is D3. So all the most significant bits are all the fourth bit of each register are connected to the fourth multiplexer. Now the connection of each bit to each multiplexer is now done. But how all the 4 values of register A will be transferred at a time onto the 4-line count? Now, if I want to transfer the values of register A, register A to some register R. First I have to keep the 4 bits of A onto the bus. Say for example 1101. So this 1101 should be 1101 should be copied onto the bus. How? All the 4 lines of A will be copied. That we will check here now. Okay. You just see here, there are 2 selection lines are there with the names S0, S1. With names S0, S1. So you can say these are the 2 special input lines to select a specific multiplexer. A specific multiplexer. See, these 2 selection lines are connected to all the multiplexers, to all the 4 multiplexers. See, here S0 is connected here, S1 is connected here. The same S0 and S1, like S0 here, S1 is here. Again, same is continued and like this, S0 is connected to here and S1 also connected here. So same means what I am going to say is, whatever the values of S0 and S1 we give, whatever the values of S0 and S1 we give, the same value will be copied to all the multiplexers. The same value will be copied to all the multiplexers. So if here, you know very well that there are 2 binary input lines are there. There are 2 binary inputs lines are there. The number of possible combinations you can generate with the 2 input lines are 2 power n in binary. So if there are 2 input lines, then total 4 combinations you will get. If there are 3 input lines, you will get 8 combinations. But here we have 2 input lines, S0 and S1. So combinations are combination 1, combination 2, combination 3, combination 4. Okay. If S0 and S1 both are 0 zeros, then register A bits will be selected. Register A bits will be selected. Register A bits values of 4 multiplexers will be selected. So you just see here. Let's assume the values of S0 and S1 are 0, 0. So if it is 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. So 0, 0 means in your binary equivalent, its value is 0. So that's why 0th line of this multiplexer will be activated. 0th line of this multiplexer will be activated. What is there in the 0th line of this multiplexer? Input A3 is there. What is that? A3 is there. And the same 0, 0 will be copied to here. Yes or no? So here when these two are 0 and 0, here also the 0th line of this multiplexer will be copied. So what is the input to the 0th line of this multiplexer? A2. So here A3 is selected, here A2 is selected, and say 0 and 0 copied here. Here 0th line of the multiplexer input given is A1. So A3, A2, A1, and same 0 and 0 are copied here. Here A0. So the moment the values of S0 and S1 are 0, 0, the moment the values of S0 and S1 are 0, zeros, all the multiplexers, the first inputs will be selected. What are the first inputs? A0, A1, A2, A3. Otherwise, if it is 0 and 1, see, 0 and 1. 0, 1 means it's 1. Value, binary decimal equivalent value is 1. So if it is 0, 1, I have written here, register B. Register B will be selected. So means if it is 0, S0 is 0 and S1 is 1, this bit will be selected. That input will be selected. What is there here? B3. And here, this is selected. What is there? B2. Here, B1. Here, B0. Clear? So, after selecting how it is going, we will check it out. Then, if the values of S0 and S1 are 1, 1, So which is passed to all or 1 0, you can say 1 0 1 0 1 0. Here as I wrote in the table, C will be. So here if it is 1 0, this bit, here also same 1 0 is copied, this input will be, here also same 1 0 copied, this input, and here also the same. C0, C1, C2, C3. So all the values that are there in the C register be the inputs of your multiplexers. Finally, if these two lines are 1 1s, these two lines are 1 1s, as I told you, D. So here D0 will be selected, D1 will be selected, D2 will be selected, and D3. So when the select line bit values are 1 1, all the third bit means fourth value. Fourth values of all multiplexers where the register D is enabled. Fine. That is the way how we are going to select whether A register bits are being given as input, A0, A1, A2, A3 based on the S1 and S0. Or at the same time B0, B1, B2, B3. Again depends upon the S0 engine. After selecting, as we know very well that your multiplexer takes n inputs and gives one output. So here output you just see. The output of this first multiplexer is transferred to here. That is, if this is the values of S0 and S1 are zeros, I told you A0 will be selected. So here A0 will be moved on to the bus. From this multiplexer, see, A1 will be moved on to the bus. And from this multiplexer, A2 will be moved. From here, A3 will be moved. So the moment where the values of S0 and S1 are 0 zeros, all the multiplexers will release the values of register A, that is A0, A1, A2, A3. Now you can ask me, sir, if the length of the register, all the registers are 8 bit, if the length of the all the registers are 8 bits, then how? Very simple. You need to have 8 multiplexers like this. You need to have 8 multiplexers. So here how 4 bits are connected? Here D0 like this, A0, B0, C0, D0, like here A3, B3, C3, D3. Now one more multiplexer will be there, A4, B4, C4, D4, A5, B5, C5, D5, like that. Last value will be A7, B7, C7, D7. So if the length of the registers are 8, you should have 8 multiplexers. Okay, I told you, length of the registers, each register is of 8 bits, bus length also n, so total number of multiplexers required is n. Okay, register contains n bits, that is 8 bits as I told you now. Bus length also should be 8 lines here, 4 more lines will come to here, and number of multiplexers required is n. Now the next question is, sir, if we have 4 multiplexers, you used 2 select lines for selecting which line you are going to. But if you have 8 multiplexers, simply you can give these 2 lines only. These 2 lines only for all the inputs. Okay, for all the inputs. 8 registers or 8 bit. So if you add number of inputs here, when you get 8 inputs and selecting one input among the 8, you just need to have S0, S1 and S2, 3 inputs required to generate 2 power n, that is 2 power 3 combinations, total 8 combinations. To select 8 multiplexers, simply you can use 3 select lines, S0, S1 and S2. This is like that. So as the number of register increases or the number of bits in the register increases, depends the select lines will be. So how many select lines we need to have to transfer the data onto the bus using the multiplexers from the registers depends upon the number of registers used and the size of the each register. Size of each register. So depends upon these two, the select lines will be identified. If there are 8 registers, 2 power 3. There are 4 registers, 2 power 2. Like that. Or else you can use even n number of registers, the same select lines by giving the same select lines like this only. It doesn't matter, no problem. But here, number of bits is going to increase, the select lines are obviously going to increase. So you can ask me, sir, you said S0, S1 for selecting 4 bits, S0, S1 for selecting 4 bits, but 8 bits you said S0, S1, S2, but what about 6 bits? You got my point. If there are 4 bits in a register, we can use 2 select lines, S0 and S1. But if there are 8 bits in a register, to select those 8 bits, as I told you, 3 select lines you can use S0, S1 and S2. But now my question is, if the number of bits or the number of registers are 6, then for this, the very beginning of this unit, I told you that the register's length will be, the length of the registers will be 4 bits, 8 bits, 16 bits, 32 bits, like. So this is represented as nibble, this is represented as byte, this is represented as word, this is represented as double word, like this. So these are the fixed length of registers in any digital computers, because this length is defined with the powers of 2's. This length is defined with the powers of 2's. Why powers of 2's? Only there are 2 binary values of possibility in our digital computer. So 2 power 2, 4-bit register, 2 power 3, 8-bit register, 2 power 4, 16-bit register, 2 power 5, 32-bit register, like that. You will, in general, you will have to have a 6-bit register of length, okay, a 14-bit register of length, nothing will be doing. So that's why select lines depends upon the size of the register or the number of registers you are using. So I hope this is the transferring the data of one register onto the bus. Of course, once if it is transferred to the bus, that bus is going to transfer these 4 bits into the next destination register. Next destination register. Okay, that we don't bother about this. Now, how data is transferred to the bus, we have discussed now. You just see, as I told you, bus like a source, then destination, bus. So from source, data is copied into the bus. From bus, copied into the destination. This is nothing but equal to destination and source in our register notation. Previously, what we have discussed, like R2, okay, R1. This can be written as data of R1 is copied to the R2. But how it is going to copy? First, the data of R1 is copied onto the bus, and then the data that is on bus will be copied to the register. So the meaning of this one is like this. So that's why, because internally the data transfer is going to happen like this, we should know how a data will be copied from a register to a bus. Okay. Now this is transferring the data using bus transfer method of one way, that is using multiplexers. There is another way of transferring data in this bus transfer, that is using tri-state buffers, that we will discuss now. Now, previously we have discussed about bus transfer method using a multiplexer, where its property is depends upon the definition, like n by 1, means there are n inputs and 1 output. Now, let us have a discussion of the same bus transfer method using a tri-state buffer. So you know very well generally what is a buffer. So simply a buffer will be looks like this. Whatever the input is there, say for example A0, 1 bit gate it is, same output will be generated. You might have already known or discussed this buffer gate in your concept of logic gates like AND gate, OR gate, NOT gate, like that. So the difference between NOT gate and buffer gate is, here you will have a bubble for the NOT gate where its controversy will be transferred. If the input is A0, A0 bar will be, means if it is 0, here 1 will be the output. If it is 1, here 0 will be the output for a NOT gate. For a NOT gate. But for a buffer gate, if it input is 0, output will be same. Input is 1, output will be 1. Now you can ask me, sir, if we are going to give the same input, or if it is going to generate the same input as the output, why do we use? That we don't want to bother now. And if you want me to tell also, I can tell. If you want to maintain certain time in the synchronous and asynchronous data transfer concept, it will come here. To just to provide a delay between time, like we will use, if we want to provide 8 seconds delay, 8 buffer gates will be connected like this. So 0 is there. So 0 will be 0 output, 0 output, 0 output, and also 0 will be there. So it takes, let us assume 5 seconds to transfer a bit from here to here. Why we need to connect like this is, to get the next bit at this input point, it may take 5 seconds, let us assume. To get the input at this point of time as a new input, if it takes 5 seconds, so till that 5 seconds, if you are not transferring 0 bit, the third party data transfer, which may be 0 or which may be 1 comes, which gives you wrong data. That's why 5 buffers will be used at the circuit what we are going to get. So like that, 0, 1 is given as 1, 0 is given, and next 1 comes, that 1 also will be given. Like this, the data will be passed out from the circuit after performing certain operation. So this explanation is no way concerned with our today's topic, but if anybody have a doubt the application of the buffer, so this is the way to provide the delay between the source and the destination, or to match the speed of the source and the destination in asynchronous data transfer, where source is the low speed device, where the destination is the high speed device, and the destination is eagerly waiting to get the data, but source is not at the same pitch to transfer the data. We use this buffer concept to match the time between the input device and the output device. That is the major application of the buffer. Okay, don't bother about that. Don't take it into your mind also, because it's not our topic here. Now, using this buffer gate, we have to transfer the data onto the bus. So before you go to this diagram, first let us come and discuss here. Generally, as we discuss here, a buffer gate, singular input will be there. Here also there is normal input A will be there. Normal input A will be there. So as I told you, this construction of bus using tri-state buffer. So a normal buffer is different than a tri-state buffer. A normal buffer is different than a tri-state buffer. So for example, if you want to write the truth table for this normal buffer A output, say in our case we use the letter Y, A and Y. If A is 0, Y also will be 0. If A is 1, Y will be 1. So here, one input, one output. So this output states will be 2, because we are using one input which gives two combination of inputs, of the inputs. So if the input is 0, output will be 0. So if it is input is 1, output will be 1. Two states will be transferred as an output. But here we are using your tri-state. Apart from these two states, there is one more state of output called as high impedance state. High impedance state. This third state of the output depends upon a control input C. So a control input C. So if C is 1, 1 means if the value is positive. If C is 1 or 1, then whatever the value of A, that will be as it is transferred as output. But unfortunately, if the value of C is there, irrespective of the value of A, means either it is 0 or 1, the output will be high impedance state. High impedance state means there is no value for it. Like how you use one infinity symbol in our mathematics, like the high impedance state has no value. It is neither 0 nor 1. So simply you can say idle. Idle. Simply you can say idle. So to regularize this output, we use another special input called as control input to the tri-state buffer. If the control input value is 1, then only this will be acting as a normal buffer. If C is 1, the output will be A. Whatever the value of A, that will be transferred. So, if C is 1, it acts as a normal buffer. If C is 0, it acts as a tri-input buffer or tri-state buffer, so where the special state called as high impedance state will be generated as the output. So this is the basic functionality of your tri-state buffer. Now, how a bus is like I said generated or bus is constructed using tri-state buffer, or how a bit is transferred to bus line using tri-state buffer, we will check it out now. Now, come to this diagram. Here, we are using a special hardware component called as decoder. It is something different than your multiplexer which we discussed there. So here, if you have n inputs, the number of outputs will be 2 power n. Number of outputs will be 2 power n. In the example what we have taken, 2 inputs, 4 outputs. Input 1, input 2. 2 inputs and 4 outputs. Output 1, output 2, output 3, output 4. See, generally you just remember or you can identify that every time when I am writing the output values or input values, I am writing 0 onwards. Because our binary notation of digital computer language starts from 0 onwards. So if you say there is a 8-bit length register, it starts from 0 to 7. It is blind notation you have to remember. Okay. So for example, if the decoder is having 3 inputs, 2 power n outputs means 8 outputs will be. So how it looks like, you just check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3. This is a 3 by 8 decoder. A 3 by 8 decoder. So if here S0, S1, S2 will be there. 3 inputs are there. Here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 0 to 7, 8 outputs will be there. 3 by 8 decoder. Like it. And if you have a 4 input decoder, then 2 power 4, 16. So you can have a 4 into 16 decoder. There are the different decoders are there. But in our case, we are going to use a 2 by 4 decoder because here also in this example also we are considering only 4 resistors A to D. A, B, C and D. A, B, C and D. So here A, B, C, D. So So contains A0, A1, A2, A3, B0, B1, B2, B3, C0, C1, C2, C3, D0, D1, D2, D3. So these are the 4 registers with 4 number of bits in each register we have. Now you see here I am using one special symbol called as enable symbol. This enable symbol is nothing but your control input of your tri-state buffer. That enable symbol is nothing but your control input of your tri-state buffer. See, if the enable symbol is 0, nothing will be activated. Nothing will be in activation. So, if it is 1, then this part will comes under activation. So, this enable symbol is used to get this concerned decoder into the activation. Say for example, you can say this decoder 0, like that. So this is only for transferring 1 bit. Means, so now as you said it is a decoder 0, the 0th bit is transferred. So the 0th bit may be A0, B0, C0, D0. But each register contains how many number of bits? 4 bits. So if it is meant for only 1 bit, like this, you need to draw one more diagram of a tri-state buffer diagram with one more 2x4 decoder, maybe decoder D1. So to generate bit 1, and again one more to generate like a 2x4 decoder of D2 to generate bit 2, like this. So how many bits are there? So those many diagrams like this will be coming to the picture. Those many diagrams of these will be coming to the picture. But once if those are all drawn one by one like this, like that, which decoder will be selected is our point now. Which decoder will be selected is now point. For that purpose only, here we are using select line. The same select line will be given to next decoder also. A 2x4 decoder. The same enable line also will be given like this. So how many decoders are there? Same characters will be. If it is 0, 0, the 0th position of this one, next position of this one, like that it will be generated like your multiplex. Now you just see here, whether here A0 is transferring, B0 is transferring, C0 is transferring, is now. So here 0 means it is not A0, A1, A2, A3. It is meant for A0, it is meant for A1, B0, and it is meant for C0, C0 is meant for D0. Next decoder A1, B1, C1, D1. So if it is 0, 0, A0, A1, A2, A3 will be selected. So if it is 0, 1, B0, B1, B2, B3 will be selected. If it is 1, 0, C0, C1, C2, C3 will be generated. If it is 1, 1, D0, like that. Okay. Now this is giving input value. So let us assume this enabled value is now becomes to 1. So the moment this enabled value becomes to 1, this high impedance state does not come into the picture. This will be transmitted as it is. So, but which one will be under activation? That we have to select using these two select lines. Okay. So this is given like this. This is given like this. So this this should be activated, or this one, or this one, or this one. Which one to check out? S1 and S0 are zeros. This one will be acted as a normal one because its value is activated. So here A0 is transmitted. Or if it is 0, 1, B0, the same is given to a common bit. So instead of A0, B0 will be activated. So this structure of diagram is meant for transferring 1 bit. It is a 1 bus line structure. If you want to transfer 4 bits of a register, like this, you need to have 4 diagrams like this. And if you have, say for example, there are 6 registers or 7 registers or 8 registers are there, the number of select lines will be increased. The number of select lines will be increased. Here also 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 like that. So every time based on the S0 S1 value, either A0 or B0 or C0 or B0 will be selected, and that output will be given to here, either A0 or B0 or C0 or D0. So this structure, again I am repeating, it is a bus line for bit 0. Bus line for bit 0. Like this, you have to construct a bus line for bit 1. Next you have to draw a bus line for bit 2 like this. So this is the bus transfer method, means the value that is there in a register is going to be copied onto a bus using a tri-state buffer concept. Okay. Now once after transferring this onto the bus will be, it is the responsibility of the bus to carry the data and to store in the another register. So this may be the source register, this may be the destination register. This is nothing but equivalent to, as we told, source to destination. Okay. So previously we have discussed a bus transfer method of data from source to the destination using multiplexer concept. Now we have discussed bus transfer method for transferring the data from one register to another register using a tri-state buffer. Okay. So with this we have come to a conclusion of bus transfer. Now let us discuss about the next part of this one, memory transfer. Now let us discuss the memory transfer. This is a very simple topic. I think it won't take more than 5 minutes. I don't think don't worry about lengthy. Here there is a only theoretical explanation for this. As we told, initially whenever we write a program to perform some operation, after decoding the program, the values are stored in a group of memory location like this. Memory location like this. But each and every memory location will have an address. So for example, you assume it is 6000 address, it is 6001, it is 6002, it is 6003, and so on. 6010 or something like that. Something like that. Okay. So, if you want to perform certain operation, I told you, you need definitely operands. Say for example, if I ask you to perform add two numbers. So here add is an operation. And immediately whatever you are seeking or whatever you are waiting is for those two numbers. If you add two numbers where the two numbers are 3, 4, then you can tell the result is 7. If I don't tell you these two numbers, you will be keep on waiting for answering the result because you don't know the input values. Okay, so whenever you want to perform an operation, definitely you need operands. Okay, now here also, whatever the operation you want to perform, the data on which you are going to perform the operation may be available in these memory locations. So how the data of these memory locations will be transferred into a normal register. See, as I told you, there are many registers are there: accumulator, program counter or sequence counter or register R1, register R2, register R3 like this. Here there are two special registers called as destination register and source register. Destination register and source register. And one more special register you have called as address register. These are all the registers in general you will be having in a basic computer. So DR stands for destination register, SR stands for the source register, AR stands for the address register. Now, basically in this memory transfer scheme, there are two operations will be performed which are called as read and write. Two operations will be performed which are called as read and write. If you are going to get some data, listen carefully, if you are going to get some data from memory to a specific register, from memory to a specific register, that is called as read operation. I am repeating again. If you are trying to get something from the memory location to a specific register, that operation is called as read operation. And vice versa, if you are writing something from specific register to the memory location, that is called as writing operation. Or if you are loading or if you are storing something from the specific register into memory location, that operation is called as write operation. So what are the register transfer notations for this memory transfer operation is very simple. DR this is for read operation. For write operation, SR. So in this place of DR and SR, you can use any normal register notation like R1, R2, something else, anything you can use. There is no guarantee that you have to use this notation only. Okay? So this is nothing but R1 M of AR. So you remember, very important here is the square brackets. Very important here is the square brackets. So what does it mean? What will be there in this DR at the end of the execution of this instruction? What will be there in DR at the end of the execution of that instruction? Very simple. So AR always holds address of the memory. Address of the memory. I told you AR stands for address register. This always stores address of the memory. Say for example, 42 is there in 6002. So it is nothing but M of 6002 means 42. So the value that is there in the memory, listen this, the value that is there in the memory of this address register, the value that is there in the memory of this address register is copied to DR. At the end of this instruction, DR will be 42. DR will be 42 because AR contains, in register AR we have 6002, but actually in the location 6002 we have a value called as 42. So that 42 will be copied to DR. You got my point? Now you come to this write operation. This is reading something from the memory location to the destination register. And again I am repeating, this name of the destination register can be anything R1, R2, or simply you can say B, or A or C, something else you can put whatever. This is your left for you, but I told you some symbols with numerical values like and this braces to represent the part of the register. Those notation rules and regulations you have to follow while naming the registers. Now come to the write operation. So in the source register or in R2, I have say 74. I have 74 in R2 or in the source register. Now at this point of time, the AR is nothing but 6008. So AR contains 6008. What is the 6008? It is a memory location. 6008 is a memory location. It means whatever the value that is there in the source register, 74 in our example, will be stored in the memory location where that location is identified or stored in the AR register. So 6008. Say here 6009. This is 6008. So this 74 will go and gets placed in the location 6008. So this is reading operation of 42. This is writing operation of 72 into 74 into the memory location. So these are the two memory transfer instructions. And of course, again, how this data will be copied from this location to this location or this location to this location. Again, you go for using a multiplexer concept or tri-state buffer concept for hardware setting of data transfer from one register to another register. This data should be copied into the bus line. That bus copies the values on the bus line into the memory rather than another register. There previously we discussed like R2, R1. So it is nothing but R1 bus, R1, R2 bus. Okay, whatever the data that is there in the register 1 will be copied onto the bus, and the data on the bus will be copied onto the R2. But here R2 plus MAR. Okay, so instead of copying into the R2, it will be copied into the a memory location where the location of the memory is available in the address register. So these are the two basic operations that are there in the memory transfer operations. Now with this we are concluding the bus and memory transfer concept. In our next class we will discuss about the micro operations. That is second part of your second unit. Okay, micro operations, types of micro operations. Basically there are three types of micro operations are there. They are arithmetic, logical micro operations, shift micro operations. So what are the notations? Okay, what is the hardware? And what are the types of arithmetic operations like increment, decrement, addition, subtraction, multiplication, like that, n. They are there. Types of operations, either arithmetic or logic or shift, or notation of those operations, and hardware implementation of those operations. We will discuss in the next session. Means don't worry, in single session it is not possible to complete all this. So in one session we will discuss one micro operation. Okay, so thank you one and all.